We're going to move on to another question now. Many people are concerned about the intrusion of the federal government into the areas that the U.S. Constitution reserves to the states. From a healthcare mandate to EPA mandates to school mandates, do you see a need to fight back against that? And if so, how would you go about doing that? And that will start with Hudson Holiday.
Oh, that's me. Oh, right. Well, Mel, did you read the question? I thought it was Phil. Government intrusion. I tell you what, folks, everybody comes into my boardroom and wants to quit taking government money. Till you start talking about how we're going to build a courthouse in Poplarville, Mississippi. Say, well, we're going to build it with taxpayers' money. Oh, Lord, we can't get a grant. You know, you've got to, if we didn't take government money, and I'm not an advocate of that, my position has always been, as long as they've been taking it from us, as long as they continue to take it from us and take it to Washington, D.C. as a public official, it's my job to get as much of it back for y'all as I can. And that's the truth. And we get back more dollars than we send up there. Now, that's not healthy for the whole United States economy. But as long as they take our money, it's my job to get as much of it back. This school probably wouldn't be built if it weren't for federal dollars. Everything everybody thinks a grant, money grows on trees. It doesn't. When they quit taking our money, I'll quit asking for it back. But the government is intruding into our lives. Big time intruding into our lives. And but we got to wean ourselves off from it. It's easy to say we're going to quit. So you got to say, what's the consequences? You're going to reach down in your pocket and pay for all of that? That's all we got. Thank you.
Dave Dennis now.
This country was formed by founding fathers that looked at a tyrannical type government, if you will, from Great Britain and other places, not just Great Britain, but looked at governments that were top-heavy, that were taxation without representation, exactly what the Tea Party here that's hosting us today represents. They looked at it and said, this is not what we want. We want to be self-determining and have a country that is a states' rights country. This country literally was formed for states' rights coming up this way. At this point, it's all coming down this way. The unfunded mandates are critical. They're killing most states. Wisconsin, for example, you saw Scott Walker stand up, young guy in his early 40s. I give him a lot of credit. I've met him. I've talked to him a number of times. He took some bold moves, and he said, enough is enough is enough. But how do you stop it? When you have unfunded mandates, they're taking states into an arena of total insolvency and bankruptcy. You're going to see governors that are strong to stand up and stand up in unison. And in Scott Walker's instance, 7 of them I know, and probably another 20 if they had to, agreed to stand behind him and say, we're with Scott, we're with him. We fundamentally do not want to be burdened with absolute governmental control of what we're doing. And that's what people have to look at. You have to be strong enough to stand up, and that's what I do.
Phil Bryant.
You know, the 10th Amendment said those rights not exclusively provided to the federal government rest with the states. So we need to be able to say we're not going to take federal money anymore. I give you a good idea. We ought to drug test Medicaid recipients. Yeah. We're going to say, if you're going to take money from me, I want you to stay clean and sober. Is that too much to ask? Just a few years ago, Governor Barber and I sent back $50 million of the Obama stimulus. He wanted to send it down here to say, we want to pay more unemployment. We want to pay people more money not to work, and we want to pay them if they're working part-time. We turned that $50 million back. We said, we're not going to take it. And then, of course, Obamacare. That's why, as I said earlier, I filed a lawsuit against the administration. Deborah and I were watching television the night that it passed, and she looked at me and said, what are you going to do about that? Guys, you know how that feels. I went in the next day, and Chris McDaniels and I put a lawsuit together, and we're going to say you're violating our civil liberties by trying to make me buy something in the private sector. And I'm not going to do it. You can drag me to the United States Supreme Court. And if I can help do that, talking about what Hudson wanted to know what I'm going to do, I'm going to save you from going bankrupt in this state.